Joe here, your reliability man, bridging the gap between best practices and your reality. Today's topic, observation, the disease in manufacturing today. I sought this into most of my videos, observation. Today I wanted to dedicate an entire video to observation. If you're 30, 40, 45, 50 years old and you're looking for something to make an impact at your company, I'm telling you, it's observation. I wish I would have learned this information earlier in my career. It's, the last 15, 20 years, it's been at the forefront of how I manage observation. Where do you get your information from as a leader? Do you get them from KPIs? Do you get them from your daily management meeting, emails, meetings, conference calls, discussions in the hallway, 4 or 5 minute observations you have on the shop floor when you're walking from one place to another and you stop for a second to talk to somebody, make a few observations about what's going on? Probably a collection of those things. I'm telling you, 100% of those are biased. They're biased. You've got people trying to fear of embarrassment is a major issue. People putting their spin on things based on their history. There's just so much that is missing when you're only using these input sources to make your decisions. And I promise you, they are biased. So some folks are, even saying, hey, man, I want another tool to prevent me from going out on the floor. I'm going to put a Visual Factory app on my phone where I can see all this information. And just by looking at my phone, I can see what's going on at the plant. That way I can do more email and have more meetings with people and make decisions. Okay. So how does this play out? Let me give you an example. Imagine you're driving down the road and you look at the person at the stoplight next to you and you see them talking on their phone. They're getting ready to turn left and they don't have their turn signal on. You just don't think nothing of it and say, gosh, man, they're a distracted driver, and you move on down the road. Okay, now imagine that you were the passenger in that other person's vehicle and you documented every time that they were a distracted driver for the next 4 hours, the next 16 hours, 24 hours, 40 hours. You can't write that off as an anomaly when they're constantly on their phone, they're constantly texting, they're changing lanes without looking. You're going to see all kinds of distracted driver items. And it changes your opinion from that's an anomaly to this is how they drive. Now imagine that's your daughter, your 16-year-old daughter driving. Do you make an intervention? Is that okay? From a safety standpoint, I promise you, you will intervene. You'll have a discussion. You'll have a lengthy discussion with your daughter on how much you care about them and how much you care about their safety. That's the exact same impact you're going to have by adding chalk circle observations to your input. This is major. If I was younger in my career, this is the best advice I'd give my 25-year-old self, is base my decisions based on firsthand observations, supplemented by KPIs, meetings, and discussions and opinions. So I call this a disease in manufacturing because it's worse than what I've laid out about the bad information, biased information. Leaders actually think they spend time on the shop floor. They actually do. And if you followed them around, you'd see, oh yeah, they're out of their office 10 times a day and they're making a total of about 20 minutes worth of observations, in 1 and 2 minute segments. It's not reality. It's, you watch just like that cell phone driver I was telling you about. It's not reality. It's much worse than that. And when I say worse, it's a bigger opportunity than that. This is gold. This is free change that you can drive where you don't have to spend $100,000, don't have to hire 10 people. You can make free changes based on observations. That's the power. It's better, more impactful, and free. Come on, doesn't get any better than that. Chalk circle observation. These are at least 4 hours. I prefer multiple day, 4 hours, 8 hours, do it for 3 days in a row and seeing what you see. Educate yourself on rules in use. We've talked about that before. That's the work of one. Is it standard work? Is it defined? Is it in a sequence? Is there quality output? And is there, a handoff? Rule 2 is the connections between two different individuals. Maybe it's production and operations. Rule 3 is fixed flow. It happens the exact same way when you're changing out rolls on a rolling mill. You change them out the same way on afternoons, midnights, and days. You communicate the same way. One best way of doing things, Rule 4, is improvement. So look those up. I'll add a link to those things below here. But when you're doing these observations, don't worry about seconds. Don't worry about recording seconds away. Make it minutes. Draw a line like at 5 minutes your first time, maybe even 10 minutes your first time. Anything less than that, you're not going to worry about. You know, you look for number of people assigned to the job. Are there too many people assigned to the job? That's waste, okay? Do they have proper instructions to do the job? Like, are they guessing and trying to figure out how to lock and tag this? That's wasting the job. You know, are they pulled off for 2 hours to do unplanned work on something that's really not a priority and just made this job go longer? That's waste. Okay, so there's all kinds of opportunities. Do you see problem solving? Is there evidence of problem solving with the work that's being done? Is there evidence that this is based on failure mode? Are we just doing this work? Is this just an inspection? And I don't know why we're doing this. We're doing condition monitoring on this. I have no idea why we're doing it. It's based on fear, not failure mode. Okay, don't give up when you're doing this 4-hour observation. You're 2 hours into it. Say, man, this is well designed, well organized. I promise you, this has happened to me. You'll sit there in 2 hours and you're getting ready to walk away, and all of a sudden something wild happens. Like they get pulled off for unplanned work for 4 hours and then never come back. And you're like, I don't know what happened to these people. The job never got done. They buttoned it back up on afternoon shift and they put it back together and they didn't do the work. You know, you're like, what? I can't believe what I just saw. You know, at the end of the observation, if it's one day, you know, collect common themes. I saw this waste, I saw that waste. Collect it, kind of try to put a number on what you think it's worth. And then go forward. I love doing this in a Kaizen fashion where I get maybe 4 or 5 groups of 2. So you're talking about 10 people, you know, 8 to 10 people. You go out and observe work and you do this chalk circle. And then you come back at 3:30 in the afternoon and each group reports on what they saw. And they report common themes, and then you collect those common themes at the end of the week. That's monumental. You know, I can facilitate that for you. Next page. You know, I promise you, as a leader, your life will be changed if you do this for a week. You will be a different leader. You'll make better decisions if you use chalk circle observations. You know, raise your hand at the beginning of this and say, today's not a special day. It's not an unusual day. Don't write it off as an anomaly. The waste you saw, I can't believe we had 0% wrench time. That's happened to me before. When a hand-picked job was given to me and I had 0% wrench time. Can't write that off as an anomaly. Everybody in the room will want to do that. And then guess what? Tomorrow when we do this observation, it's the second most unusual day we've ever had. And it happens to be when Joe's here. This is a snapshot of reality. Better decisions will come from this. You will advance your career, you'll advance your plant, you'll advance your community if you add chalk circle observation. So, hey, my lean-driven reliability task for the week. This is going to be a little bit of a twist to this. In the next meeting that you're in, don't let somebody talk. Set a ground rule that you cannot talk, you cannot offer an opinion and you can't ask for capital, you can't ask for people unless you have that supported by chalk circle observation. You know, that's something I did at my plant. Can't talk, don't want an opinion, got to support it with chalk circle. It'll change the organization, cascade this through everybody. Observation must be in addition to any calculations you do, any best practices that you see out there on the web or wherever you get them from, has to be sorted by chalk circle. You'll change your organization if you force observation to be a part of your decision-making matrix. Again, if you love these videos, give me a like. It's not that hard. Hit the like button. It's one button. Hit the like button. Hit the dislike button if you don't want any more of these videos. Give me a comment. That influences future videos out there. I almost always take a question and turn it into a video. Hit subscribe. Let me know you're listening. I've got my email. If you want some help in your journey, you know, send me a question. I'll answer those. I have no charge for questions, no charge for phone calls, anything like that. You want me to come at your plant, spend some time there, that's where I will charge, but I'm here to help you out. I appreciate it. Thank you.